Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today, we're talking 1990's It, which was directed by Sandor Stern. I'm your co host, Alec.
I'm Erik, and with us again, our Stephen King expert. You are Dom Berger. Dom, welcome back to the show, and for the first time in video, which is great.
S- it's definitely going to work against me, but so happy to be here. Thanks for having me again.
And really quick, sorry, it is actually directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. Sandor Stern was last week's masterpiece. So I just want to clear that up really quick for anybody listening. Like, what the fuck? So,
Oh, we're
sorry.
done. We're
Uh,
done. We're done. We're
We just lost
canceled.
so many fans. Yeah.
But welcome back, Dom. This is your 22nd episode. We actually counted. So, dude,
22. I'm very excited.
that's kind of
Ah,
crazy. It's been, I mean, because it'll be our fifth year anniversary in 2 weeks. So it's like in 5 years, you've done 22 episodes. It's kind of nuts, Dom.
That's pretty good. And they all kind of precede big life events. I feel like if I ever were to go back and listen, they happened either like before or recently after having a kid or buying houses. So
so
it's been,
you're extremely stressed out by the time you're recording, right?
yeah, the fact that I have hair right now is a fucking miracle.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. But no, I do go back and listen to times I was stressed, and I'm like the Get Out podcast. I was extremely stressed, and like there's like episodes where I like to listen to and be like, yeah,
Well,
yep,
Dom's got a third kid coming. So that's the big news, right?
Third
Right?
congrats,
girl,
Dom.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
So how many
Yeah,
girls? Three girls?
this is gonna be three. I was hoping for a boy, if I'm being honest. And if she's listening in the future, I was not looking for a boy. But yeah, I mean, I grew up with two sisters and and a mom who was always like always on top of things. So I'm very used to being told what to do by a bunch of girls. So it'd be no
Surrounded by
different.
estrogen.
So
All right, I have a daughter, my wife, my sister-in-law, my dog's a girl, my mom, my sister. I'm at my mom's house right now. My mom's dog is a girl. Estrogen, just women everywhere. But that's a good thing, Tom. That's a great thing.
And I have the exact opposite problem. I have
You're
testosterone
just
everywhere.
boys. You're just a boy family.
Yeah. But regardless, we're all here brought collectively today, to talk about it. And this is kind of surprising. We haven't talked about this movie. I mean, this is like one of Stephen King's. I mean, is this Stephen King's biggest book? Probably.
yes.
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, it's a huge book. And I remember being very proud of myself once I finished the audiobook because the audiobook was like 50 hours, right? And I'm like, oh, could never have read this with my learning ability, I mean, learning deficits. But
I have the
uh,
book, Dom, and I it's this. It's like that thick. Literally. Sorry. And I've read probably this amount of it, the first part of it. So,
that's the proper amount. There's a lot of so I re-listened to you didn't ask me to. I want to say that off the bat. No one asked me to be versed on the book, but I figured because this miniseries is like 3+ hours long, that it was going to get pretty granular pretty quickly. And I couldn't, the last time I'd listened to the audiobook was like, I don't know, 10 plus years ago. So not 27, because that would have been cool. It would have lined up with the
Uh,
story. But
yeah.
I was happy to re-listen to it. And I finished it in like 2.5 weeks. So it flew by, if
Wow.
that can be any kind of testament to the actual book. I
eh,
enjoyed, go
sorry, I
ahead.
didn't mean to cut you off, but I have to ask, out of the Stephen King novels, novellas, everything, what percentage do you think you've read of Stephen King?
He's got like 60 novels and novellas and short stories, which in the beginning I kept away from because I was like, you know what? Like, I don't need short stories. I listen to them now. But since then, I've realized that some of his short stories are some of the best. Like Shawshank was a short story. Stand By Me is called The Body, short story. All these books, The Long Walk, actually, that just came out,
Yeah.
is a Stephen King. And if you guys ever do that one, call me because it's a good one
Yeah. Yeah, the
and
movie
it's
just
fun.
came out. Yeah. But how
Yeah,
many
yeah.
do you think, Dom, if you had to guess?
About 90%. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Oh yeah, and you said the Red Sox book. Okay, so there's a few
Yeah.
there. So what's the one that you want to read the most, and then we'll jump into to it a little bit. The one that you haven't read that you'd like to read.
Ooh. Um, hmm. That's a great question because there's uh I'll tell you the truth. I'm not even sure I like his recent stuff. So he's just put out a couple of books in the past few years. He's been focused on this like series called Finders Keepers, which is like it starts with the Mercedes killer and it
Uh,
spans out into several books.
yeah,
And he keeps kind of coming back to the same characters over and over again. And I'm over it at this point. But he's done a few follow-up books for that, and he's getting older and older. So I think if there's anything that's easily he does a lot of stuff under a pen name named Richard Bachman.
yeah,
And,
thinner. Yeah,
we did Thinner,
yeah,
which was Richard Bachman, and those stories always end poorly. So
yeah.
whereas like most of Stephen King ends on like an uplifting note, like Richard Bachman always ends with a slap. So
Hmm.
I typically there's a book called Rage that I want to eventually get into, but you have to be in like a certain kind of mood.
Two last quick questions. Have you read Holly? I heard that's the last 2 years. You read it? What'd you
Yeah.
think?
It was pretty good. It was all right. It gets a little bit ridiculous with the plot line. Holly is one of the finders keepers from
Got it.
this detective agency, and if you're into that character and specifically her, like the last 5 years have been great for you because it's book after
Wow.
book. Yeah,
So maybe there's an audience for it. It didn't bring you into it. Got it. Got it.
yeah,
And then Green Mile. Have you ever read The Green Mile?
sure
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't. I have the book. I think that's my next one to just dive into. I don't know. It's not that thick and intimidating. It is thick, but not like it
it's
thick.
they for Green Mile, he released it like pieces of the book at a time. And it's really interesting. The movie does a pretty good job of uh following the plot to a pretty good degree, and then places where the novella or the novel doesn't work, it smooths it out pretty good. So I can highly recommend it. It's good.
Interesting, interesting. And then last thing you mentioned, Stephen King's getting older. How old is he? Is he 80 yet?
No,
He
he was
might be,
born in 1950, I think.
I heard
yeah,
someone say, and I don't want to get into politics at all, but he's 2 years younger than Trump. So whatever age Trump is, that's what I saw on the
yeah.
internet. I don't know if that's true,
He was born in
but
1950. Yeah.
yeah. And then just my perspective of it, I saw a video of him walking recently, whether it's around Maine or whatever, but it just made me think, yeah, that's a guy who sits at a typewriter all day. Like
He also got into a very bad accident where he was walking on the side of the road and somebody hit him with a car.
I had no
Uh,
idea.
That was
yeah,
26 years ago. Yeah.
yeah. So it's been like
He's
he
beat up. He's beat
he's
up.
pretty beat up. Yeah,
Okay.
Well,
did
and
a lot of cocaine.
he was like, yeah, alcoholic, drug addict
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
first like 40 years of his life. But let's jump into the movie a little bit here, the old It. And it's great, Dom, that you've read this. So you can definitely fill in some of the blanks. We've all seen the 2019 and like that one, right?
2017,
Right.
2019. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we all seen those. And what is your guys is this your first time seeing this one, the 1990 miniseries?
Dom,
Do you
go
want to go first,
first.
Eric?
Oh yeah, I'll go first. So I saw this one when I was a young lad. Loved it. I think I was sick home from school and I watched it, the whole thing on VHS. And I can't remember if it was one VHS tape or two, like Titanic, but I'm pretty sure it was one VHS tape. I might have to Google it after this, but I loved it. It was like a fever dream, man. It was good, but also after this is my first time rewatching it in 20 years, but also the first time rewatching it since I've seen the 2017 and 2019 It Part 1 and It Part 2. So I have love for this made for TV movie, and I'm a little out of whack though, because I was watching it and I was a little confused about the pace of things, and I'm trying to forget the 2017 version and focus on this. But the plot's a little different. It's not much different, but my takeaway is part one, the first part of this movie, the first part of the book, I'm sure, and the first part of the first part in general is the better part,
Yeah,
if that makes sense. That's what my takeaway of this movie is. And book and the It Part Two is not as good as It Part One. So
And
yeah.
Alec, did you like it?
I did. Yeah, no, I saw, a little bit of it when I was a kid, never the full thing. I remember watching it on an airplane to Australia and I was like, whoa, I watched all of this, then all of the 2018 one. And they're like, you still have like 20 hours left on this flight. And I was like, sick. So I did watch it like a couple years ago. And then, yeah, I watched it again now. I like it. I just kind of, yeah, the second half of it, it's just like, and then the special effects at the end.
why is that? Is it the way with the book too, Dom? Would you say?
No. So it's interesting because I thought, just like you said, so for the movie, like the first half slaps. It's fast. It's got a lot of like the setup, and it's funny because I remember seeing this for the first time on like cable when I was younger, and back in the day, I remember being really thrown off at like the outfits they were wearing and the dramatic push-ins when it's like they all find out that they have to go back to Derry,
Yeah,
and I didn't remember it being as good as I was like halfway through this movie and I was like, oh my God, I'm having a really good time. Like it was fun. I thought there's some heavy hitter actors. Um, and I thought in terms of so the book goes back and forth constantly to the very end. So it's like present day, or present day is like 1986. And then in the past is the 58 version when they're all kids. So it's going back and forth the entire time.
yeah.
And both movies do a thing where they do the kids one movie or one piece and then the adults mostly the next. And the reason I didn't like this, the way they did it on this one, is that they still kept flashing back in the adult scenes. Like there was clearly when we were young, and that was the first part, and then they switched to what we're doing now in Derry, and then they still kind of would have those moments where it was exposition dumps as the adults, and then the flashback to explain it. And I
Yeah.
thought, ah, that kills the momentum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when they the part two of this movie even when they do the flashbacks, they're short. They're nothing long. So I get that. I'm thinking of that. And it's probably a lot of reshoots and stuff too, possibly. But
Where this actually splits, because this was on ABC and it was on two consecutive Sundays. So you would watch the first hour and a half and then the second hour and a half the following Sunday. And where it splits is when the wife finds Stan's body in the tub. That's like the end of like part one of this. And I don't know, it's kind of like 50-50 adults, kids in the first hour and a half. And then the second hour and a half is more of the adults. But yeah, with the quick flashbacks. I don't know. I feel like the more modern one just gave a sense of like this whimsical adventure for the kids for the entirety of the movie, and you didn't even think about the adults, and it kind of keeps going back to that, and then to the adults, and then back to that. So you're right, Dom. It kind of like lost the tone a little bit, and it kept shifting so much that you're like, ah, man, the momentum keeps dropping a bit. But the acting's great though. Like they do have great acting. It's on TV, which restricts it a little bit. Like half these kills are not, you don't see it. There's really not a lot of gore. No swearing, except for the N word. How could
a lot of the
they?
N bomb, a
I
lot of the
couldn't
N bomb.
believe that they could say that on ABC in 1990. It's like you can't say asshole on TV, but like, that guy can say the N word. It's like, oh my God, this isn't a
It's the opposite
historical
today. It's the
movie.
opposite
I
today.
know,
Yeah,
but
it's wild to think that. Yeah.
yeah.
But
So, when I started the audiobook, my wife and I run a lot. And the beginning of it, and you see this in the movie, the most recent, the 2019, is like they have a gay couple, like two men, right? And it kills one of them. And they have obviously a lot of racism. And I was blushing listening to it. I was like, this is and it's supposed to be, overplayed. So the cops kind of are interviewing one of the gay men about the murder of the other one, and they're all talking about how Pennywise is like, they think they saw this clown bite this guy's heart out, and what the cops say about one of the guys as a gay man is so aggressive and so like oof, this is not
in
2025
the book, in the
in the
book,
book in the
uh,
book and it's like graphic, and they really, you're not gonna believe it, they really toned down the racism in this special, but
Oh
they
yeah.
definitely didn't skimp on the N word. But um, I just remember telling my wife, I'm like, "Ooh, you can tell that he wrote this at a time that's not contemporary, and like for like what they allowed in this, the language they use is like it like made me sweat, like nervous."
Like a book is one thing because it's like, okay, you're reading it sort of thing. This is on national television,
Yeah.
at like prime time, and you're like, did we need this? Like the 2019 one didn't do it. And it's like, and you still feel the racism without having to say that word. I
And
don't know.
and and before we get into it further, can I go through the quick stats just so
Yeah,
we're
sure.
in this and we'll go through the plot. It came out November 18th and the following Sunday of what year was it? 1990.
1990. Yeah.
Runtime at 3 hours and 12 minutes. Technically two episodes split between an hour and a half. Ran on ABC, like you said, Alec. Its budget was 12 million.
It's a lot back then.
This movie, it's a lot back then for a made-for-TV
Yeah,
movie,
yeah.
but it drew in not a box office, but ratings wise, between the two nights, 30 million viewers.
Wow.
That's insane. Its Rotten Critic score is a 67. Its Rotten Audience is 64, which I think those scores are down because it's a made-for-TV movie, period. But I think arguably this is one of the best made-for-TV movies ever. Like, and there's a ton, but especially in
Oh,
the made-for-TV movies were in the 70s more, but now it's like
I have two
this.
controversial things to say to that,
Please,
Eric.
please.
I think Salem's Lot is better than this, the 1979
Yeah,
one.
people. The Stand is made for TV, right?
I think so.
There is a version of The Stand. Yeah.
So people say the same thing, but personally, I think this is one of the
Yeah,
my
it is
my
good.
favorite
And then
made for
another
TV.
controversial take, which I probably think you guys might agree with this, but I like Tim Curry way more than Bill Skarsgård. I think they're different. But I definitely think that Tim Curry, I like his version more.
Well, he was chain smoking cigarettes while filming this one, which makes him cooler. Two, I don't think there's any CGI in this movie or film.
Yeah, there is.
There's a little.
Not on
I mean,
him.
him getting sucked down. It's mostly practical effects.
Yeah. What do you think, Dom?
I agree. So the only problem I have with Tim Curry's performance is that there's not more of it, right? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I love his performance. That I've seen his monologue to Georgie like so many times, and he will always be the voice of Pennywise to me. The new one's a little too soft for me, a little
Too
too,
soft.
yeah.
Too soft. I don't know if that's what I'd say, but
Hiya, hiya, Georgie.
Oh,
yeah, okay, the
the
voice.
melody.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You need, yeah, give Bill Skarsgård like a couple cigs and then do it.
They call him Winnie the Pooh online because he's
Oh.
hello.
But Dom, you're right. That scene, the Georgie scene when he's in the sewer, like I think the Bill Skarsgård one like looks scarier. But the thing is, dude, Tim Curry's eyes in that scene, you can see like how red they are because I think he's wearing contacts, and they just look like deranged. And the Bill Skarsgård one, I think is like CGI eyes. It's like floating around. So I go with Tim Curry in this one for
Tim
sure.
Curry must have been like, can we just film this so I can get these out? Like Jim
Yeah.
Carrey in the Grinch costume. Like
It's
we need
real
to.
though,
Yeah, no,
like, and
absolutely.
I think
It's
that's why it looks so scary because his eyes, they're so bloodshot and he's just
not that
bloody.
Bill Skarsgård wasn't put through any pain, but and not to take away from it, but
No,
like
he's
it
great.
feels like for a $12 million budget, a made-for-TV movie, Tim Curry was probably put through the ringer for this movie.
He
Yeah.
seems Skarsgård seems like a predator, right? Like he's sitting there waiting, right, to pounce. And Tim Curry is so charismatic that like you're like, oh, no little kid stands a chance. Like, hiya, Georgie. Like whenever I think of that scene, I think like how because these kids go missing, right? And the whole thing is like, the whole fear is these parents are ignorant to what's going on. There's nothing scarier than when you're a kid and there's something scary and your parents don't care,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the thing I really liked about this movie was there was some genuinely, it felt like, and maybe this is a big inspiration, but like, Are You Afraid of the Dark kind of setups where like something would light up really fast, right? Um, I always think of the book scene where, Big Bill is in his room after his brother is killed by it, and the blood starts to come out of the photo album after it winks at him,
Yeah.
and it doesn't cut there. It's like the parents are covered in the blood and they can't tell, right?
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, that stuck with me for years. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, yeah, no, that idea is really scary. I mean, the movie, if you just think about like the concept of it, it is just a terrifying idea. But one thing I kind of wanted to just back to what we were talking about earlier with Tim Curry, he says a line in this movie, and I don't think they say it in the 2017 one or whatever, where it's at the end when he's talking to all the adults, and he's just like, "You'll only be able to see what your like puny minds can handle," or whatever. And that like made me think about his character as like he doesn't need to be this like erratic, crazy kind of Bill Skarsgård character because like he's laughing at how like pathetic and puny they are. So he can just be reserved a little bit more or have fun with them, it seems like, as opposed to the Bill Skarsgård Predator version.
My take, and Dom, correct me if I'm wrong, is he's been simmering these kids for 40 years, 30 years. And this to him is like a veal steak that's been preserved, and he's about to have some good dinner.
Ooh, I just want to piggyback off that, Dom, and then answer this. You're right, Eric, because especially for some reason, this version, when they say, like, think about it, all of you left and you all became successful, and then you're coming back. So it's almost like he's letting them have a taste of the good life and then gonna
Yes.
rip it all away.
No, but the fact that if Pennywise can make them afraid, oh, that's gonna taste so good to him, right? Or it.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely gets you like the more fear. That's why he goes after children, right? Is like he feasts on fear, right? So the more afraid you are, but it goes both ways. So the kids have these abilities when they're young. They have like imagination. You kind of see this in the movie where Stan uses his inhaler to kind of, and he says, "This is acid," right? And because like kids have such strong imagination, when he does it when he's a kid, it works, right? And then what happens, in this book is like as people get older, and again, it's all coming of age, kind of some kind of metaphor or simile or whatever. But everyone forgets about dairy the longer away it gets, and like their scars and everything disappear that they got while they were battling it. And then it's not until Mike calls them to come back and fight him that they remember anything about dairy. Uh,
Can
but
you say though, Dom, in this version, Mike, he's in the town and he finds that this little girl got murdered, and then he finds a picture of Georgie, but that's not what happens in the book, right?
no, it is.
Oh, it
He,
is? That's what draws.
yes.
Oh,
So well, like he stays behind, and because he doesn't leave Derry, he doesn't forget, right?
right.
And that's his whole deal is he's the guy who brings everybody back. Um, but
That, but
he
what's the thing that prompts him to call the rest of the adults?
yeah,
Well,
so he
Georgie's photo is the reason
In
he
this,
confirmed it. Yeah, he's older now, and he probably thinks like this could be a murderer, but when he sees Georgie's picture, it's like it's
right.
back.
it
Right,
is
but
in the that is in the book as
that's
well.
in the
Like
book
he
too.
sees the
Okay.
picture. But he sees a couple other murders happen that he's keeping track of always. So he's friends with the police department. He kind of comes in, and he like keeps track of all these different child murders, always on the lookout for it. Um, I Something that's different that's not in the book that I laughed at was when he's showing Bill around Derry after Bill's come back after a long time, and he's starting to remember different neighborhoods, and he's like, "I remember this neighborhood. This is Poor Town. This
Yeah.
is where Beverly used to live. This is where the poor people are." And Mike goes, "Yep," and he turns left and he walks into his house and he
Yeah.
goes, "Your place?" And he goes, "Yep." And he goes, "Ah, I,
Yeah.
dude, I thought that was so funny."
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
so bad. He's just like, Poor Town. They used to call it that. He's like, still do. And he like walks up to his porch. That's the dad from Sister Sister. Do you guys remember that? Remember that show?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's the dad from Sister Sister.
Sister, sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, no, I love that idea though of like a person staying behind or remembering and everybody else leaving and becoming successful, but then being drawn back to it, 30 years later. I love that. Another part I know that they obviously omitted from this one specifically, but from the other one too, is the sex scene. Like,
the orgy
why?
scene.
Like, what the fuck, Stephen King? Like, just it feels so crazy.
You
Like, Dom,
mentioned this when we recorded before, but there's an orgy scene in the book, right?
yeah.
With
Dom,
Beverly.
does that help the book, Dom? I'll be honest. I'll be
No,
quiet if it doesn't.
no. Okay, so you know how I'm like it goes together, right? The adult version, the adult timeline and the kids are running parallel the entire book.
Yeah.
So at this point, they've already defeated it for the first time, and they're trying to get out of like the sewers. They're in the pipes down below, and they can't find their way out. And they're like, "How are we gonna do this? We can't find our way out." And like Beverly's like, "I know." Like it's we're all gonna be we're gonna be loving of each other and we're gonna be connected. And she has sex with each one of them after another. And it's so like I want to know what that's based off of. Like where did like I just don't understand any nutrition from that piece at
Was
all. And
was
it's
King drinking at this time, or was he sober? Do
Oh
you
yeah,
guys
he was
know?
I'm
drinking
I'm sure he
All
was
right,
drinking.
it's probably a
But
drinking night, probably.
in the 80s. Yeah, I think so.
but it's not a short scene. It's not even like, oh, like he does something,
40 pages.
it's so long and you're like and they describe it in way too much detail
Oh,
and you're like I don't understand and I get it it's a coming of age story right and the whole book Bev has a abusive dad who is like
Also abusing her,
he oh my
like
God what about the backhand
sexually.
well what about so the whole thing in the book is that he's clearly like attracted to his daughter and instead of you know, being loving toward her, he harps on her. He
Hmm.
hits her. Um, they showed a backhand of a child in the movie, and I was pretty surprised for national television in the 90s. Like,
well, Simpsons, like half the first season is
Yeah,
just like, get over here,
Bart
you
just
little.
gets
Like,
choked
I
out. Yeah, you're right.
good point. Good
really
point.
quick, I just confirmed Stephen King got sober in 1987. So maybe people read this book, they're like,
Well,
Steve, we
this
need to
book,
talk. We
This,
need to talk,
no, no, no. But
Stephen.
maybe this is part of sobriety. But
Yeah, literally.
this took him 3 years to write. I Googled it. This is one of the longest books it took to write because it's so long. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, so he
Three
was,
years for like 1,500 pages is like,
The
or
guy's a machine. We talked about it a lot. He's a machine.
it's insane.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that ever for a book that's over 1,000 pages and to do it in 3 years is bananas.
yeah.
Um,
yeah,
and
crazy.
was it all necessary? No. There's
Okay.
so much in that book. It is padded. Um, Toward the end, you definitely feel the fatigue. It's not as bad as the
Mhm.
movie. Like the movie definitely takes a dip and I think it's weird because you have these really charismatic actors, and then the guy that plays Bill is like kind of dead on his feet the whole movie.
Yeah,
He's known
ponytail.
for the Waltons. He's not Georgie Boy. What's his name? Something Boy in the
Yeah,
Waltons.
but the ponytail is
He's
insane.
very well known for the age group watching this now. What Danny Boy or something Boy? I don't know. But Waltons, look him up. That's his. By the time this movie came out, very well known.
Well, the thing is that I know they got rid of the orgy scene or whatever, but it really makes it weird because when they all meet as adults, they're just like Beverly, and like everybody is like rubbing each other and stuff, and you're like, what happened? Because in the book they had sex, they had an orgy, but in this one they're like, let's hug, we're friends. So you're like, are you
She
guys?
reminds me of Jenny from Forrest Gump in a lot of ways. Rewatching this series, especially, I mean the movie we just watched. I was like, that's Jenny from Forrest Gump. Essentially,
Eric,
trailer trash, like growing up into
did you
being abused.
recognize that actress, Eric?
Oh, come on, don't do this to me. I
That's
didn't.
the mom from your favorite show ever. That's a super. What's a fucking Smallville? That's the mom. That's
I
super.
don't. That's not my favorite show ever.
That's
What are you
Clark
talking?
Kent's mom
Stop
from
doing that. I
Smallville.
like the first season of Smallville. I've said that before.
Somebody save
Yeah,
me.
the first season was great back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's her. Yeah, and then Olivia Hussey is his wife, who actually just died, but she was a very pretty lady. And
Speaking of weird though, Alec, what's on your nose? Like, what
oh
is
yeah, we
this?
haven't even talked about this. Oh yeah, so
Not mentioned once.
the clown nose. Yeah, I'm wearing a clown nose for people that are
Patch
just
Adams
listening.
over here.
No, I'm doing it because you know what? I'm standing up for clowns, guys. Clowns have been taking
Here we go.
heat.
Here we
They've been
go.
taking heat for too long. It's time to stop saying, I'm scared, I'm scared. No, seriously. Clowning is a real business. I'm not a clown, but I'm just saying it ruined clowning. I just watched a documentary about it. This movie and this book like fucked the clowning industry up. So I'm here representing clowns. Hey, they're fun, they're happy.
Hashtag bring back clowns
I seriously think clowns need to come back in a big way, you know.
and balloon animals at kids' parties and stuff like that.
I don't know.
I had a woman come over as a clown and when I was in preschool and I was terrified. And it was because of not this movie, but Killer Clowns from Outer
Right.
Space.
Yeah, yeah. So this documentary was just saying that like up until the 80s, like people didn't look at clowns like they were this terrifying monster. And then
They are
basically,
taking our clown jobs.
literally though, like they're like, I can't feed my kids and stuff. And I was like watching it like, God damn, like these people are like, I love this. As a kid, I watched the Ringling Brothers and I became part of it. And anyways, it doesn't matter. It's sad. So try not to be afraid of clowns. I get it, but you know, a regular clown, bozo, I don't know.
It's
Anyways,
different now, man. Different
it
times.
is. It is. Clowns are looked at, you know, like monsters. But anyway, so I'm here to represent the clowns, the happy clowns.
Respect. Respect you standing up for and advocating
Clown,
for
right.
clowns. Yeah,
Pretty good.
it's good.
Pretty
Um,
good.
Another thing, Dom, that I heard was kind of omitted from both series, and maybe you could kind of briefly explain this, is the turtle that r controls the world and then, or controls the universe or something. And
Yep.
then, yeah. Have you heard of this, Eric?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Keep going.
So you think the whole book, like the it is this cosmic force, right? This evil incarnate type force. And you think the opposite of that is this thing called the turtle, right? And the turtle is like a force of good. And he's the one. So what happens is when the kids originally beat uh, it, they let her get away, right? And they so she's like injured and they don't know whether or not like they actually killed it. So they're like, but what happens is they go into their respective careers and they all find a lot of success. And like you start with like from the standpoint of like Stan Uris and his wife and every good decision that he made predicting on like where to go and like where to be in his career and where his wife should go, he would like zone out and he'd be like, no, this is the right decision. She's like, well, why would I take a job, in XYZ sector? And he's like, because the turtle said it's fine. Right. So he's there a guiding force where he's like for good. And he, like, in the end, there's the way they're supposed to kill it is they get into this, like a ceremony of Chud, where they talk about this a little bit in the 2019, 2017. And it's like essentially it's a mental battle where you quote unquote bite each other's tongues. Right. And then the first one to get the other one to laugh is like the winner, right? And you get all power. So in the beginning, you're like, oh, like the turtle's gonna help him fight it. But then they come back to fight it again, and the turtle has died, right? So the end battle is not just like against a huge spider, right? It's like it happens on like a different dimensional plane, and it's Big Bill against it, and like he's being like pulled through the void because he's chasing it again. And like it's a weird thing where like it's like, oh, the turtle is dead. And somehow Bill knows that he's right. They never go to explain this. They don't go into further detail. And then when he finally beats it in the end, sorry guys, spoiler, there's a voice that's not the turtle, but is whatever created the turtle saying like he did a good job. So that's as much detail as the book gives us on what the turtle is.
What do you
Yeah,
think of
yeah.
that, Eric?
Stephen King was drinking during this. There's no doubt.
The
Super.
turtle that controls the
No, but
universe.
like being like an ABC like executive, you must be like, nah, we're
Get
getting
rid
rid
of
of the
the
turtle, get rid of the
orgy.
orgy. Like, yeah, exactly.
Get rid of
Like,
the turtle. Get rid of the orgy.
it's nuts. It's crazy, but
Yeah,
no,
it's a
I
little
but
much.
They did
that's Stephen
fix.
King.
So the miniseries, okay, so Ben Hanscom, right, is the guy played by what's John Ritter,
Yeah.
and he is an architect, right? He was heavy as a child, fat as a kid, and then he got really successful and got really skinny. And in the book, he's in love with Beverly Marsh, right? And she's in love with Bill. And all these kids, even though Bill has a stutter, right, and he'd be made fun of anywhere, but the kind of magic thing is that like they're very patient with him. They don't ever hurry him along when he's stuttering. They really listen to what he has to say. He is their leader. And with Ben, he's obviously in love with Beverly, but he looks up to Bill, so it's okay that she's in love with him. The thing I didn't like about the book that they fixed in the movies, they made it clearer that there was something between Ben and Beverly as adults, right?
Yeah.
In the book, it gets really weird, guys. So they all meet back up, and Bill is married to Audra, and he sleeps with Beverly anyways,
Oh my
right?
God.
And like they just never discuss it again. She leaves with Ben, right? And they go and to live with each other. And he goes back to his wife, who's catatonic after like the ending scene. But I'm like, I still don't understand why they had to sleep together.
You know why? I know exactly why. Because Bill is Stephen King.
Oh yeah.
It's so obvious. He's a horror writer, he's like writing scripts for horror movies that he's like, and they don't like the ending or whatever. And now he's like, it'd be kind of sick if I wrote like an affair in here and like maybe what I would do, like live out like a fantasy. I mean, that's what I think. I don't know.
It's just like it's one of those things that happens and you're like, I don't understand what relevance to the plot this had,
Yeah. I
you
like
know?
that she ends up with Ben. Like this, that felt right, And it's like, it's fine, the little love triangle thing, but like, yeah, if
Well,
she slept with
he
Bill
wrote
or,
her the poem,
yeah,
your art or whatever. What's the first
January
line?
Cheers to fire.
Embers.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. So yeah, it always was supposed to be him.
Yeah. Yeah, that would
So
suck if they just slept together. You'd also be like, all right, so Ben's a
you
scum or
know, what
Bill.
suck? It's like, hey, my wife's catatonic now. Like, screw Ben, me and you.
Yeah,
Like,
that would be
have
really
you?
bad. Like, that would be so... Dude, okay. All right. I feel like if you're listening to this, you probably know the plot of this movie. Like, we're not gonna go beat by beat. We'll be here for 10 hours. But the very end, I want to know if that's how it ends, Dom. I don't know if you feel comfortable saying that. But dude, it made me think about it. If people are in like that kind of like, shock or whatever, or something like that, what if you were on a moving object and what if it like woke your body up? I was like thinking about it, like maybe that would do something because your body feels like it's falling, so it like kicks it or something,
Like if you're in a coma and all of a sudden you're
Yeah.
going downhill at like 20 miles
I
per
mean,
hour.
a safer way to do it, but I don't know. I was just watching. I was like, I wonder if that would like, freak your body out to the point where it like wakes you up as opposed to just sitting in a bed. I don't
Like when
know.
you're having a nightmare and you just
Yeah.
like
And
feel like you're falling.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm basing this on nothing. I just watched the movie. I was like, I wonder if that
Yeah,
works.
because if everyone's listening, clearly me and Alec and Dom are doctors. So we,
Dom's wife is.
all
Go ask her.
right.
No.
Go at
She
Keith. No,
she
go
won't
get her.
watch it. Yeah, I will get her to put it on the podcast.
But how does
Uh,
it end, Dom?
that's how it ends. Is they
Really?
The
puts
bike
her on the
ride.
bike. Yeah, it's. I always thought that was so dumb because the book had been going on for 48 hours at that point, and I was like, let's wrap it up, man. And the fact that like his wife has been such a non-entity the entire book, like you forget she exists until all of a sudden they need her to be in the story, and you know, and Beverly's abusive husband. In the book, she beats the shit out of him in the beginning. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
But like
Nice,
I don't
nice.
know. I just felt like I felt like maybe it was on purpose that like the kids half of the story is so you know what it is though? Like let's talk more about the I'll tell you about the thing I liked about the book at the very end. I don't want to like go beat for beat, but there's something really great that the book did that I didn't remember until this time around that like it's very relatable because you guys in they talk about like meeting up as your kids and like what your friends see in you and kind of how like exciting it is to make a genuine friendship as like young boys. And when I think back, it's like you guys. Like this is like the thing
We've
that
known each other for 30 plus years almost.
we
Yeah.
branch out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike was
So,
on last week. He's another one. And
well, for a much different movie.
Just watched his movie or his movie. I just watched his the Amityville Horror
Ooh, the
video.
fourth one, The Evil Escapes.
yeah.
Please check it out. But no, it honestly feels good to like have a movie that's like has some substance again.
Yeah.
Um,
No, this movie is incredible because yeah, it's like each character has their issue that they have to overcome, and like, it's interesting. But it makes me think of a question though for you, Don. Eddie is the one who's like the mother is like the Munchausen by proxy or whatever that lady. Um, so he doesn't need oh my God, what is it? The fucking thing.
Inhaler.
Inhaler. He doesn't need the inhaler.
yeah, yeah. In the new movies, he calls it a gazebo effect, which I thought was so funny in the new movie.
Yeah.
It's a gazebo effect, and he throws the pills at her and the inhaler.
But the thing
Best.
is, so he's still doing the inhaler when he's an adult. So is he just like, first of all, he it's not like there's this pharmacist that's just this ongoing pharmacist forever. He doesn't live in the town anymore. So that means that another pharmacist has to be in on this, or he's just breathing in this inhaler and he doesn't have
Jeez, Louise, you're
asthma.
looking way too into it
I was
there.
just thought of, I don't know. I was like, why does he still have an inhaler?
Maybe
Well,
because he's become reliant on it
they
personally.
also they make a thing where it's like they forget what happened, right? So they
Yeah,
forget his little epiphany with the pharmacist who was like who
yeah,
in the book is much more of a jerk, right? So his mother in is much closer to the 2017 version where she's heavy and she's obviously pushed everyone else in her life away, including the father, right? So
yeah.
she's doing her best to kind of Munchausen, her son into being a and at some point, they make a big case of like Eddie only becomes brave when his friends are the ones that are being threatened. Everything else, he kind of lets his mom run his life. And in the book, he marries a woman who is literally his mother. And in the movie, the 2019 movie,
Mm,
it's the same actress who plays the mother and his wife in the future.
right,
But
right.
it's very interesting because in the movie, the miniseries one, they're like, oh, he's a virgin, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, he's never had sex. I'm like, all right, that's a good choice if we're going to leave out the orgy scene. But in the 2019 version, spoiler, guys, they do something really cool that I think is like, it's not in the book, but it's a very interesting twist on the, the Richie Eddie relationship.
Yeah, because in the 2019 one, Richie dies, right? He sacrifices himself for Eddie. Am I wrong?
No, Eddie dies still.
Oh, okay.
But they do a thing. So the whole book, like Richie is teasing Eddie
Right.
mercifully. I also thought for this movie, I thought Seth Green was way too smooth,
Oh, I
man.
loved him. I
Yeah, he was
Oh, I
loved
good.
him.
He
loved
was
him.
good.
Yeah.
He was so likable. But like I thought that kid probably wouldn't get picked on for real. Like other than
No,
those
but when he
Yeah.
glasses.
walks into
Yeah.
the principal or whatever, I was like, "Yep, you had your high moment, now you have your low moment." So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yep.
yeah. Um, but the 2019 version does a thing where they say that like Richie loved Eddie, like they like romantically, and all these years has like loved him and like never could tell him, and it's like a very interesting take because the two of them, none of them have good relationships. They mentioned this a little bit in the miniseries, but none of them can have kids, right?
Hmm.
After fighting it, and like Eddie tries to get pregnant at some point, like he decides, and like his tests come back that he should be able to have children and he just can't. Like they're none of them can actually conceive.
Mm.
And you find out in the end
And
of the
he
book,
does he blame it?
yes.
So
Yeah.
he never truly forgets it. He's one of the
No.
okay.
And it is a girl, right? So you
Oh,
find out in the book that it is a girl and she's pregnant. I thought of remember when we talked about Cujo and you're like your sequel idea for Cujo? That's literally
The
what happens
puppies in it. Yeah.
in it. Yeah.
So it's
So
not it's right. It's coming
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
hundreds of so the way that they kill it when he's older is that they drive him back her back again, and then the babies pop out and they like crush them under their feet. It's like really a wild,
Damn. All right.
yeah,
dude,
So that's in the book. That's crazy.
the ending of this one when they're fighting like the spider version and they're like, they're so afraid they don't know what to do with it. And then all of a sudden they're like, wait, why don't we just go like punch it? And they just like, and then I love Bill like pulls its heart out. I was like, "Ota, ota," and he's like holding it. Like that's what it was like though, right? And it's like a
yeah.
shadow of him. He's like,
Hota!
"Ah, ah," and he's got like blood on him and stuff.
That
Like,
happens in the book.
why
It's
didn't they
literally
just
like,
try that at
literally,
first? They're like, all right, let's, first of all, I think Richie was right. Bring a gun, like just to be safe. Have a
Yeah.
gun to be like, "Pow," because if it can get killed by the silver, which is like them putting the power onto
Silver
that.
bullets.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it was only because of kind of what you were saying, Dom. It's like the importance that they put on it, because like, and I think the only reason they're thinking that, Eric, is because of like werewolves, I would imagine. I don't know.
Right, which is what scared Richie in the so it's too
Yeah.
smart for that.
But I just
Question
love
for
the way they kill it. Just like,
question for you. We're gonna start with Alec and then you, Dom. Alec, do you have a favorite character in the book? Or this movie?
I guess probably Bill, I
Bill.
guess. I
Yeah,
guess.
the
I don't
Stephen King guy.
know.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know. Oh, as an
Dom,
adult or as a kid?
just a
Okay, I
favorite
like Ben as
one.
an adult and Bill as a kid.
Okay. Dom.
Interesting. I like Eddie as a kid. I think he's not Eddie. I like Richie as a kid.
Yeah, yeah,
I
he's
think
good
he's
too.
super smooth. Um, as an adult, I like Mike Handsome. He's
Hanlon?
pretty.
Hanlon? Is it
Yeah,
Hanlon or
he's pretty. He tells a story in the book about that fire. He mentions it briefly. It was like
mm,
different dating back. There's different tragedies that occur, and he's like, oh, there's this fire, and one of the people that was at that fire was a Shining alum. You guys want to guess who?
Shining alum
Yep,
of what? Of
like the movie or in book, The Shining.
Carrie? No,
New
I don't know.
Dick
Is this somebody from a
Halloran.
different movie? Oh, Dick
No, no,
Halloran?
yeah, like from
Oh,
The
from The
Shining
Shining?
was in the fire.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was in the fire, but he survived.
Yes. So like
Oh.
the story comes from he's in the story, but it comes from somebody else's point of view, and they
Oh,
all
that's
get trapped.
The Stephen King universe is crazy.
That's why
Lately it's too much, I've heard, but now it's crazy back then.
he does a really good job. So like every single like bully or people they encounter has like a section of the book where it's from their point of view, or it goes back in time to talk about their stories, and the stories are like pretty fantastical and like some of the kids that get killed off, most of the times it's either like they're really innocent and it's like a tragedy when they get killed, or like they're a sociopath and like you're like, oh, this kid's gonna get killed in a weird way. Um,
Mm.
but so like a bunch of that is like the backgrounds of all these different characters who kind of die quickly in the story. So when you cut all that out, it just feels like certain parts they just blow through, you know? You're like, oh, all of Henry Bauer and like his friends.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
there's not a lot there for any of it, you know?
Yeah, that the hair thing was kind of dumb, where he's just
Is
like,
it is anyone gonna ask me who my favorite
"Oh
character
yeah,
is?
Eric, who's your favorite character?"
Mike. I didn't think it. I used to love Bill too, Alec, when I was a kid, but now watching it, Mike is truly the unsung hero in this
Oh
entire
yeah,
movie
definitely.
in every way. He's the one who stayed back, became a librarian in Derry, and pulled the fire alarm. And he knew, embarrassing enough calling John Ritter and being like, "You're a big star now. Why am I even bothering?" But doing that is crazy. Then, and Dom, please tell me this is in the book, but he's the one who finds the Quicksilver bike. Does that happen in the book, like in this movie, where he's the one who
No,
finds it on a tag sale? Okay, then maybe it's
no,
not as cool than this movie,
no. He
but
does do that, the bicycle cards, right? Like that
yep,
piece where he's like, oh, bicycle cards. But
Yeah.
in the 2017 version or 2019, whatever one that happens in where Bill like runs into Stephen King in the store, and
yep,
he's like,
yep.
"Ah, I'm gonna, big writer. I'm gonna sell you this book."
Oh yeah.
That's how it happens in the book.
It's
It's
Bill. Okay.
Okay, so Mike's not as cool in the okay, but Mike's still
Well,
my favorite in this movie.
dude, those scenes though with Mike and Bill on the bike, where it's like, "People, let me tell you about my best friend." I was like, "We don't have time for
Music's
this."
great. Music is
I
great.
didn't like that scene. I was like, let's go, let's go. It was just like they're like riding over like seesaws and stuff. Also, I thought the Chinese restaurant scene was a little drawn out too. You know, like that it's just like them laughing, like we're eating Chinese food and laughing, and it was just like panning around to each of them. I was like, okay, like there
I
you
love
go.
that that's how it like shows up to them at a Chinese restaurant. It's like we're all back together, like, oh, we're having fun. And it's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna open up some fortune cookies and ruin your night.
Yeah, it's like Bill, you get a dead bird. He's just like, oh man, or not Bill. I think Mike
it's
got the dead bird.
yeah,
No,
it's rough because they definitely did it better in the 2017 version where it's like I don't know, it's jokes all land. And again, I love the 2017 adult cast a lot. Um, but something
mhm.
that was cool about the miniseries was the lack of CGI. So like when the old woman who's in Beverly Marsh's old apartment,
That was
when
good.
she looks up, she looks fantastic. It's all
Yeah.
like makeup and whatever. Um, when Belch from under the bed at Henry Bauer's mental asylum pops out and he's like he's all wicked.
Yeah.
It, it's I was like, damn guys, like that looks fantastic. And then um depending on like what they did with the camera angle, like it could look really terrifying with all the teeth out, like all
Yeah,
practically
I
done.
like that. Dude, the spider at the end though, like it reminded me of a B movie. Even the music was like dun, dun, dun. It was like coming out so slow and like in front of like a clearly a movie screen. I was like, oh my God, guys, like
We could say the same thing about the 2019 part two when like it just like slowly becomes like a baby.
that was stupid. Yeah, no, that was stupid too.
So this movie, the book, the movie, that movie, this movie doesn't have
Oh
the
yeah.
best resolve.
Yeah, they've all got some dumb parts, but I just thought like, because I'm terrified of spiders. I'm like, fuck, oh man, he's a spider, and then you see that, you're like, I don't think I'm afraid of spiders anymore. Like after
That's
that,
better, yes, if you slime.
yeah, yeah, it's like I believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and Jesus, and it was like going to spray it or whatever, and it was just like, dude, but yeah,
Dude, I did laugh though right before they all go in, and Eddie's like, you know, I'm a virgin, and like I think it's
Suck
Richie
the
who's
air
like
out of the room, Eddie.
who
Like,
goes like can't help you there, bud.
yeah.
Like,
No, no, no. My favorite part is him too, when they drive by the Paramount, their hometown theater.
yeah,
And he's like, "Oh, not the Paramount, you motherfuckers," or something. He says
yeah.
something like that. That's probably my favorite part of the movie because
That
I
guy.
feel that way.
He's the lead actor from the TV show Night Court from the 80s. I think his name is Harry Anderson, I think. And he's hilarious on that show,
It's
but
good.
he was pretty annoying in this movie though.
He
Like a
delivered
lot.
some good lines. He
He
delivered
he
some good
he
lines.
had some of my favorite lines, but a lot of it like really was
It's a
hacky and
script. It's a
annoying.
script. It's a
Yeah,
script.
it
Yeah.
was. It was like of the time, like a Bob Saget, like Jerry Seinfeld kind of like comic at that time. But like, dude, when he's just like, I just got to derriere, and he's like on there, and I was just like, dude, kill me. Like, oh my God. But he did,
It,
he had some funny jokes. He did though.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I liked his mustache too, especially when he was like sad walking through the woods. His like mustache looked so sad. He was just like, I don't want to be here. Um, well, I guess before we wrap up here, just got to gush a little bit about Pennywise, obviously, and Tim Curry. I mean, dude, the scene, like, genuinely actually pretty scary. Like when they're all looking at the book and he like runs up and like looks right at you at the screen or whatever. And like that scene's pretty scary.
Intensity.
He does it a
Intensity.
few times in the movie where he looks directly at the camera and every line is just I don't know. He's just chewing the scenery.
You know, I texted you guys this morning. I said I fell asleep literally at the when Bill is starting to go down the hill. I woke up, I fell asleep, and all of a sudden I woke up like, is that clown music? Is that circus music? The movie ends with like a dun 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 dun, dun, like the clown music, and then it hits with Tim Curry's laugh.
Yeah,
I literally jumped up. I
yeah.
woke up, but I that's how I know. I was like, oh shit, Tim Curry, he's intense.
So good. I love it, man. I've watched it not for any reason at all, other than like, and they don't give him a lot. Like I remembered him being in it a lot more, but it's more the memorable parts have him involved, you know? I
Yeah.
thought, and John Ritter's like young and like he looks like a stud in this movie, but he doesn't seem to like say a lot after a certain point.
There's a lot of characters. I mean, maybe in the book it doesn't feel like this, but like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, Eddie, oh yeah. Like I just kind of I don't know, there's a lot of people. Um,
Even
but
the bullies that come back, there's a lot. There's a lot of characters for sure.
My
eh,
problem is their names are all like the whitest names. It's like this is Eddie and this is Richie and
yeah.
this is Stan and this is Bill and they're all different people. And you're like,
Yeah.
ah,
And then there's Mike.
yeah, Mike
No,
is the
no
black guy.
comment, no comment. But yeah, no, it's all white names, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it takes place in Maine in the 60s. I think that would probably make sense, but who
Uh,
knows?
yeah,
Probably
it
just
gets
switch it up a
it
little.
does get confusing.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I love the
But beep
aesthetics.
Richie.
Love that. Love the balloons. The blood looks good sometimes. Sometimes it kind of looks really fake, but overall for what it was, it's very good. And there is I don't know anything about it, but the Welcome to Derry series that's coming out, I think next
Hmm.
year, I think, right? Um,
I think I heard. Yeah, yeah,
I
that
think
right.
I don't know. I literally don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. Well, I mean, if
I'm
you
gonna give
guys
it a
know,
shot.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna give it a
excited.
shot.
I'm
Yeah.
genuinely excited because I don't know, like, what could they do? What do you think,
That's a
Dom?
good
Expand
question.
it, just expand on it because they can't ruin it because it happened. It's kind of like the prequels to Star Wars or any prequel stuff you've seen. Like, yeah, we know Obi-Wan dies. Maybe
Is it a
like
prequel though, or is it a sequel?
it's a prequel.
Oh,
It's a
it is?
prequel.
Okay.
It's like in the 1960s, the time
Oh.
leading up to the events of the first film in the Stephen King.
Oh,
So it's the
okay.
time leading. So it's probably when he first awoke in the 60s, which leads to the end
So
of his hibernation, which is with the kids in the first book or
yeah,
the
so if it's after if it's in the 60s, it's after the first Losers Club. Like so the takes place in 58 and
Yeah.
then it takes place in 85. So those are the two time periods.
Yeah, so they're
so
gonna have
this
to
is in
figure out.
between.
Well, because Eric,
Yeah.
is it going to be a sequel to the book, or is it going to be a sequel to those movies? Like, so because the movies take place in
Got
80 to
it. Yep,
2020,
yep,
so
yep,
I
yep,
don't
yep, yep.
know if it's going to take place in like, yeah, like 1958 or whatever, or
Okay, so
19
it's going to be a bit of reimagining then, but it does come out October 26th this year.
this
I'll
year.
watch it.
Oh
Yep.
Wow.
my God. Wow,
Wow.
that's like a month. All
Yeah.
right, so we
We're
have
gonna
to.
be watching the series and it's gonna, I hate when movies or shows like horror shows come out and next thing you know you're watching the finale on Christmas Eve. Like, can we not do that around the time?
Maybe it's all released at once. Maybe it'll all come out at once. I
No,
don't know.
no,
I don't
they'll
know.
they'll weekly it,
All
no
right.
doubt.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, but we'll definitely check that out. But yeah, do you guys have any last minute thoughts on it?
I got one. Beep beep Richie. That's it. I'm out.
Perfect. That's
Don,
it.
you got any?
That's good insider baseball. Yeah, I thought it was I actually enjoyed a lot of it. I thought the special effects were good. I thought the acting was good. I remember it being a lot cornier than it was. And if it wasn't for the time of it, like if it were just the first hour and a half, I would say it's a definite recommend. But I think to watch the whole thing, you should be doing it for a reason. Whether you read the book or you're trying to bone up before you see Welcome to Derry or wherever the new thing is. But
Yeah.
overall, I thought it was a pretty solid for a TV movie. It definitely. I was like, oh, 12 million. Yeah, that checks out. That makes sense.
Yeah, my last thought, the f favorite or scene that I definitely prefer in this one over the 2017 one or whatever, the rock fight scene in this one. It felt so much more real in this one because in the 2019 one is just like metal music is playing and they're just like it's like slow motion stuff. And I just was like, this felt more realistic. I don't know. So I like the rock throwing scene in this one for sure. And Tim Curry.
Interesting final thought, Alec. That's what you do.
I don't know.
Fucking
I couldn't
clown
think.
nose.
I don't know. But yeah, bring back clown jobs and you know, God bless.
I respect your activism.
Yeah, it's so itchy. I'm doing a lot. So
Hopefully you
um
can take that off tonight.
oh, I'm taking it off the second we finish. But yeah, so Dom, thank you. 20-second time. We'll definitely have you
Yeah.
on again soon before, baby number three comes.
Very excited. Thanks for having me again. It's always a pleasure.
And thanks for reading the book too, man. Jesus. It was, so much insight. So thank you, man. You're muted.
Thank, thank you, Dom, is what I'm gonna say too. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, we don't have a wheel to spin because this is our last movie this next week. We're doing
We
Exorcist
finished the
3.
summer wheel.
Nope, nope, nope. We have Exorcist 3 next week.
We didn't. No.
So
Okay.
we don't have a wheel to spin because this is the last movie. So
Ah.
so Exorcist 3 is the final movie, and then it'll bring us into October where we have some fun stuff planned. So yeah. So we thank you all for listening in to our discussion on It 1990, the miniseries. And we'll see you next week with The Exorcist 3.
Woo!